Cam Bondi was no stranger to the courtroom grind. Years spent prosecuting the nation's toughest cases had forged her into a legal force, unyielding, sharp, prepared. But today, as she stepped into Judge Howard Gates' domain, something felt off. Gates was a legend in his own right. A sharp-tongued jurist with a reputation for erratic rulings and an ego to match. This wasn't just another hearing. It was a high-stakes showdown over government ethics. One that could topple careers and expose rot at the top. The case centered on Charles Lawson, a wealthy developer accused of siphoning state funds into his private empire, propped up by deep political connections. Bondu had the evidence, financial records, subpoena documents, a paper trail too damning to ignore. She approached the plaintiff's table, ready to dismantle Lawson's defense. What she didn't expect was the venom waiting for her from the bench. Judge Gates didn't even glance up as she settled in. He flipped through a file with exaggerated slowness, letting an oppressive silence settle over the room. Then, without meeting her eyes, he drawled, "Miss Bondi, I trust you've brought something worth my time today? Or are we skipping straight to the part where you bore me to death?" A ripple of laughter came from the defense team. Bondi didn't flinch. She'd faced worse. "Your Honor, the evidence will speak for itself," she replied evenly. "This case is about taxpayer dollars misused on a grand scale. My job is to lay out the facts." Gates leaned back, smirking. "Taxpayer dollars? That's never been the backbone of a flimsy case before, has it?" Tone dripped with sarcasm. Bondi's jaw tightened, but she held steady. Respectfully, "Your Honor, felony corruption isn't flimsy." Their eyes locked, his icy, hers resolute. Before she could press on, he waved a hand dismissively. "Spare me the sermon, Mrs. Bondi. Get to the point. I don't have all day for your theatrics." The gallery stirred. This wasn't judicial toughness. It was personal. Bondi took a measured breath, refusing to let him rattle her, and opened a folder. "Your Honor, Exhibit A, financial records showing unaccounted funds funneled to the defendant's projects." Gates cut in. "Do you always drown us in paper, or is this your way of overcompensating?" The room shifted. The defense attorney smirked. Reporters exchanged glances. Bondi paused, letting the insult hang, then clapped her hands lightly. "Your Honor, if you'd rather make this personal, I can request a recess to address your professional concerns." Gates' lips twitched. Amusement or irritation? Hard to tell. "No concerns here, Miss Bondi. I just recognize a weak case when I see one." Gasps broke the silence. This wasn't normal judicial conduct. Bondi squared her shoulders. "Then let's let the evidence talk." But as she spoke, she caught a flicker in his eyes, something beyond arrogance, a stake in the game. This wasn't just theater. Gates was hiding something. She pressed on, projecting financial statements onto a screen. "These documents show the defendant's company received triple the approved budget, with no state records to justify it." Gates interrupted again, sneering. "I hate to interrupt your little slideshow, but I've seen enough numbers for one day." Bondi glanced at him, then back at the screen. "With all due respect, Your Honor, these numbers are the case." He scoffed. "And yet they fail to justify wasting my time." There it was again, wasting time. He was burying this before it could breathe. Bondi flipped to her next page. "I'd like to submit a motion." "Denied," Gates snapped. I haven't even stated it. Doesn't matter. It's going nowhere. He leaned forward, elbows on the bench. This case is speculation dressed up as corruption, a circus act. The room tensed. Eyes darted. Jurors, reporters, even the bailiff noticed. Bondi crossed her arms. You realize this is a public hearing, Your Honor? The media's here? Everyone just watched you dismiss evidence without cause. His jaw clenched. That's enough, Miss Bondi. She didn't budge. Then, with deliberate calm, she pulled a recorder from her case, set it on the table, and pressed play. A gruff voice, Gates's, filled the room. Take care of it. I don't care how. Keep those ledgers out of her hands. Silence swallowed the courtroom. Gates froze. Bondi didn't look at him. She didn't need to. The defense attorney's smirk vanished. Lawson paled. She let the moment sink in, then slid a document forward. This wiretap transcript, legally obtained, backs it up. Officer Reynolds, read the highlighted section. The bailiff complied. We'll take care of her. Bondi doesn't have anything solid yet, but if she does, I'll make sure it never sees a courtroom. A juror gasped. Bondi folded her hands. I'd like to submit this as evidence. Gates's eyes flicked to the exit. Motion denied. Excuse me? This hearing's over, he barked, voice cracking. I won't allow... Bondi cut in smoothly. I wasn't asking. She nodded to the back. A door swung open. Footsteps echoed. Judge Howard Gates, a voice boomed. You're under arrest. Chaos erupted. Gasps, camera clicks, reporters scrambling. Officers flanked Gates, cuffs in hand. This is absurd, he muttered, but the fight was gone. The cuffs clicked shut, a sound that silenced the room. The once mighty judge sat motionless, disbelief etched on his face. Bondi stayed seated, expression neutral. This wasn't about triumph, it was justice. Gates rasped, You can't do this! The officer didn't flinch. Obstruction, conspiracy, abuse of power. You'll get your attorney. Gates yanked against the cuffs. I am the law here. Bondi stood. Not anymore. Silence fell again. Lawson shot up, chair scraping. Wait! This is out of hand. We can work something out. Bondi arched an eyebrow. Work something out? He stammered. No need for a spectacle. Let's be reasonable. You seem nervous, Mr. Lawson. Why's that? He forced a laugh. Nervous? This is insane. You don't believe Gates is guilty, do you? She let the question hang, then turned as Gates was led out. The door shut, and the room exhaled. Bondi faced Lawson again. We've still got a trial to finish. Want to talk plea? His jaw tightened. This is a witch hunt. No, she said coolly. This is justice. The air shifted. Lighter, cleaner. Gates was gone, but the case wasn't over. Bondi glanced at the jury, the empty bench, then Lawson. If you talk, you'd better ask for protection. He exhaled, defeated. Fine. The courtroom buzzed as reporters raced to file their stories. This wasn't just a trial anymore. It was the start of something bigger. And Pam Bondi had fired the first shot.